Why do I always have to cut it so fine? What does that mean? I will explain in a moment. Hello there. Welcome. It is another English Addict Live. If you cut it fine, it means you do something with very little time remaining. Today, I was really cutting it very fine because I was doing many things this morning. Some of the things I might talk about later on, and some of them I'm definitely not going to mention. So today I was really cutting it fine. Mr. Duncan, why do you have to cut it fine? It means you do something in a hurry because time is running out. You might remember in the movie Back to the Future that was actually used, that phrase. Oh, Doc, why do you have to cut it so fine without any time to spare? So I hope that helps you. Here is a tip for everyone who one day wants to be a presenter on their own live stream. Can I just give you some advice here? One piece of advice that is very useful, you might want to have a tic-tac before you go on. So I always find if you have a tic-tac before you start your live stream, it makes your throat very relaxed. So I always pop a tic-tac into my mouth before I start doing my live broadcast, except today, because unfortunately I was in a bit of a rush, so I hope I wasn't too late. So, is there anyone out there? Well, I hope you are relaxed. I hope you are having a lovely, comfortable time. Do you know why? Because it's Sunday. It is. It's Sunday, everyone. I hope you are having a super duper day. It is the weekend. It has arrived and it is still with us. I hope you have had a good weekend. Yesterday I went out walking with Mr. Steve. We went into town and on the way we saw lots of beautiful things. Would you like to have a look at what I filmed yesterday? So this is what I filmed yesterday as we walked around. Oh, look at that. At the moment, the weather is very autumnal, very misty. Not too cold, however, it is rather damp. So there you can see one of the views from yesterday as I was walking around. You can see in the distance there is a man walking his dog. I hope it doesn't do a poo on the path, because people don't like that. I don't like it. I certainly don't like treading in dog poo, to be honest with you. And also we have another view there looking the other way. Oh yes, you can see the leaves have definitely started falling now. Everything looks very autumnal. I don't know about you, but I love autumn. I think autumn is one of my most favourite seasons of the year. We will be talking a little bit about autumn today because, well, it really does feel as if autumn is in the air and as if you needed any more demonstration as to how autumnal everything is at the moment. Look at that. There I am walking through the leaves yesterday with my big long legs. Can I tell you a story? The other week when I was climbing over one of the fences near my house, I actually fell off the fence. So yes, that wasn't very nice. And one more shot from our lovely autumn walk yesterday. There it is. There is Mr. Steve in the distance. Oh, hello, Steve. And you can see lots of leaves on the ground. It really does look like autumn has definitely arrived. We had a little bit of snow last week, but we haven't had any more snow at all at the moment. So we've had no more snow, fortunately, even though autumn is definitely in the air. I think it's very safe to say. Definitely. So here we are, English Addict, for you English addicts out there, and for those who've never watched before. Hello, my name is Mr. Duncan, and I hope you are having a good day. I teach English on YouTube, and I've been doing that for a long time. In fact, I would imagine that some of my viewers were actual babies or very young children when I started making my YouTube lessons, just to make me feel really, really old. Hello to the live chat. Oh, hello live chat. I'm sorry, I haven't forgotten about you, don't worry. Hello to Grace. Grace Chin, congratulations to you. You are first on today's live chat, which, as usual, deserves a super duper round of applause. It always makes me so happy when I see all of my regular viewers and, of course, some of my new viewers on the live chat. If it is your first time today, let me know. You can tell me, Mr. Duncan, it's my first time on the live chat. Hello also, Not One Thing. You were second today on the live chat, not first, like last week. Also, we have Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy, watching in Hong Kong. Lots of dramatic things taking place at the moment in Hong Kong. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Duncan, from Jimmy in Hong Kong. Hello also to Cho. Hi, Cho. And Olga Business Nguyen is here as well in Vietnam. Hiroko. Can I say a big thank you to Hiroko, and also can I say a big thank you to all my lovely donators who have sent some kind donations. Can I say a big thank you to Hiroko, Sujin, Massimo, and also Petros for your lovely donations that I've received over the past few days. Thank you very much. And of course, we can't forget our lovely Patreon supporters as well. My Patreon supporters have been supporting me for, it must be nearly 3, maybe 4 years now. So thank you to my Patreon supporters, Mika, Ding, Andrew, Julie, Michael, Anna, and also Oleg as well. Thank you very much for supporting me. It's lovely to have your support and also your company as well. Don't forget, I do all of this for free. If you want to get in touch, you are more than welcome to do so. You can even send a donation by yourself if you want. I never know what's happening on Sundays anymore. Sometimes I have a large audience and sometimes I don't have a very large audience. I really don't know why. Last week we had a huge audience, so I'm hoping that we will repeat it again today. Hello Eric, hello Martha, hello Maria, hello Maria, I'm waving to you now. Chris is here. Also, Grande. Hello, Grande. Nice to see you. Greetings from Brazil. And hello to you. Thanks for joining me on Sunday. We are now live across the internet, across the world wide wobble. Hello also to Morella, Corey, Caesar, and also Umiyama. Hello to you as well. One of the questions I'm asking today, if you could be a character from one of your favourite TV shows, movies, or maybe literature? What character or which character would you be? So if you could be any character, maybe a favourite character from one of your TV shows that you enjoy watching, or maybe a movie, or maybe a book that you've read in the past. If there is a favourite character that you would love to be, somebody you would love to be like. If you remember last Sunday, I mentioned that when I was at school, I used to pretend to be C-3PO from Star Wars. So that's what I did in my childhood, which explains a lot when you think about it. So if you could be any character from fiction or non-fiction, so maybe something from a fantasy novel or a fantasy film, or maybe something romantic perhaps. So please let me know. Also, we have the mystery idiom coming today as well. In fact, I think we will do it now. Can I just say, first of all, to Joey, can I say to Joey that this is not a repeated, not Joey, Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy in Hong Kong. So today's mystery idiom is not a repeat from last year. This is a brand new mystery idiom. And here it comes right now. So just say what you see. Today's mystery idiom is on your screen right now. But what is it? What is the mystery idiom? What is it? If you think you know the answer, let me know. You can say, Mr. Duncan, I know what it is, because I'm a clever clogs. So if you think you know what the mystery idiom is, you can leave your message on the live chat. I hope you're having a good day. Hello also to lots of people joining right now. Hello, Kevin Chung, watching in China, the mainland of China. So not Hong Kong, but actually on the mainland. When we talk about mainland China, we mean the big chunk that is China itself. So quite often we will talk about mainland China, where we mean the big chunk of China, the thing that looks a little bit like a cockerel. Some people say that China, the shape of China, looks a little bit like a giant chicken or cockerel. So that's why. Hello also to Emin. Hello also to Irene. Emin gives a little clue to what the mystery idiom might be. Hello also to Caesar again. Great minds think alike. Oh, that's an interesting one. I wonder why you've said that. I'm not sure why. Beatrice is here. Oh, if I could be someone from a book, film or TV show, I would be Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. I love Jane Austen's stories. I would say, I know I'm taking a risk here because we are living in the 21st century when everyone is very sensitive, but I think Jane Austen is really for women. I think women enjoy reading Jane Austen books. I don't know any men who read romantic novels. I don't know anyone who reads romantic novels, men. I know lots of ladies and lots of women who like reading romantic stories. Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. Oh, Mr. Darcy. Oh, Mr. Darcy. My heart doth flutter when you walk by, Mr. Darcy. So what about you? Do you have a favourite character? So we've had Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And I think romantic stories, romantic movies are mainly watched by ladies. If there are any men watching the movie, quite often they have been dragged there by their girlfriend or wife. I think so. Christina is here. Louis Mendes. Hello, Luis Mendes, watching in France. Zaben. Also Belarusia. Nice to see you back as well. All of our lovely regular viewers. If it is your first time, let me know. Hello to Winston. Winston 1975. I've never seen you here before. Is it your first time on the live stream? If it is, please say, it's my first time. Oscar. Hello, Oscar. People are talking about you at the moment. Well, not you personally, but they are talking about the Oscars. Because at the start of next year, they will be giving out those lovely statues to the actor, actress, or director, writer, camera operator, T-boy, or T-girl, of course. Must remember that. So the Oscars are in the news. People talking about which movie might get an Oscar next year. Hello, Corrie. I would like to be The Little Prince by Saint-Exupéry. Thank you, Corrie. Yes, The Little Prince. Now, I saw an animation a few months ago on Netflix called The Little Prince, and I have a feeling it was the same story. I think it was. Irene! Come on, Irene. Join in my show and say hello. Thank you very much to you. Emin. Yes, Pride and Prejudice. I also enjoy romantic music, says Emin. Yes, I suppose so. Now, I think men and women can enjoy romantic songs. I think you're right there. Thank you. Christina. Now, this is something I was watching the other night on the news. Very worrying scenes. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Venice is flooded. One of the most beautiful cities in the world. Not only the whole of Italy is hit by the pouring rain, but also heavy snowfall in northern Italy. So Venice at the moment is suffering a lot. I saw some terrible pictures the other night where the water level has risen so high. It's now starting to go into some of the old buildings, and they are now worried that some of the old buildings might actually collapse because the water is washing underneath the buildings. And as you know, Venice sits on a very precarious piece of land. So even though Venice appears to be very stable, despite the fact there's water flowing all around it, normally, at the moment the water level has gone very high. So many of the buildings are being damaged, and in some cases there is a fear that they might collapse. So yes, very sad sights, very sad scenes coming from Venice at the moment. Hello also to Assi. Hello also to Mohammed. Thank you. Nice to see you here. Saying hello from Sudan. Thank you very much. Yes, we do have people from all over the world watching at the moment. Thank you also to Grande again. Yes, it is very sad what is happening in Venice. Some of the buildings, hundreds of years old. Venice is one of those countries that I've always... Sorry, not countries. One of those places I've always wanted to visit. I've never had a chance to go there. Italy. I've always wanted to visit Italy, especially southern Italy. I don't know why. I've always been strangely attracted to Italy. Hello to Saturino. Ciao, Mr. Duncan. In the background, I can hear birds. Yes, there are some birds in the background because I have my window open. Now, Mr. Steve this morning decided to put the heating on in the house. And now in my studio, because I have heating and also lots of lights which generate tons of heat, I am boiling at the moment. So yes, it's very hot here in the studio. Very hot indeed. Frederica, Ahmed. Hello to Dubai. Nice to see you here as well. So many people here today. Oh my goodness. Not as many as last week. I don't know what happened last week. I think maybe the YouTube algorithms had gone to sleep and people were actually being informed about my live stream. However, it looks as if the YouTube algorithms have taken their revenge today on me. I've had a busy week. I am trying to design a website. I didn't realise it was such a hard thing to do. And my eyes have been hurting so much this week. They really have. Mr. Duncan, let me send my beloved greetings to Hastings 1066, where I spent a whole week last summer. Hastings, yes, the place where a very famous battle took place in 1066. Irene, Luis Mendez, what is the weather like in your country? Asks Irene. We've had loads of rain. Yesterday I was walking with Steve and there was a lot of water around, and apparently there is going to be more rain on the way as well. Oh dear me. So I thought we would have a look at something autumnal. I don't know why. I thought it would be nice today to have an excerpt from one of my favourite lessons. And this lesson is describing and talking all about the particular season that we are going through at the moment here in the UK. Autumn.
Autumn is approaching, time to roll down your sleeves. The first evening chill arrives with the falling of the leaves. Red and gold become to us the colour of change and decay. For as the seasons are concerned, this has always been the way. These changes have and always will decide how things must be. Autumn's fall and winter's chill will choose the fates of you and me.
Trees that lose their leaves in autumn are called deciduous. This word relates to the loss of the leaves, which normally turn gold or red before falling to the ground. Unsurprisingly, trees that never lose their leaves are referred to as evergreen. Tropical trees are almost always evergreen, as they usually exist in countries where the temperature and moisture level is high all year round. What makes autumn so special? Well, just like spring, autumn is a period of transition. You could say that it is the opposite of spring in the sense of it being the time when plants and trees, and even many wild animals, prepare for the onset or arrival of winter. It is the season when almost everything in nature winds down. The leaves on the trees turn gold and fall to the ground. Flowers will wither away after shedding their seeds. Animals will begin to store food in their nests and burrows. The days will become shorter and the nighttime temperature will begin to drop. Everyone has their own favourite season. For me, I have to pick summer as my favourite, closely followed by spring, autumn and winter. I would love to live in a place that has long, hot summers. A sunny climate really does cheer the soul. But then I would find myself missing the unique sensation of walking out on a snowy winter's day. So, living in England gives me the chance to experience both, with spring and autumn added as a pleasant bonus. Do you have many seasons in your country? Which one is your favourite?
Autumn serves as a reminder to us all that everything has a pattern, a beginning and an end. The seasons come and go, even in places where those changes are very subtle, but exist they do. Even in our lives there are seasons. A time to grow, a time to blossom, a time to live, and a time to die. These changes have and always will decide how things must be. Autumn's fall and winter's chill will choose the fates of you and me.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed that. An excerpt from my autumn lesson, one of my all-time favourite lessons, by the way. It is live, it is here, it is happening right now. Spontaneous English chat. It is English Addict Live on a Sunday afternoon. Hello to everyone watching at the moment. Hello to Guadeloupe. Hello also to Palmyra. And also to Hamo. Hello, Hamo. A very interesting name there. Hello also to Belarusia. Now, it would appear that Belarusia in her life has had things go wrong, but also one of the things that Belarusia says, and I love the comment, by the way, is I never give up. I always persevere. Today we are talking about success and failure. Here's a word, by the way, that a lot of people spell incorrectly. So many people get this wrong when they spell it. So failure and success, words connected to those things. Sometimes I also like to bring up words to do with business English. And here's an interesting one. Middleman. Have you ever heard of this phrase? The middleman, especially in business, is a person who you do business with when you are buying and selling. So quite often, the middleman will be the person who is involved with buying or selling. So they are in the middle of the process of you earning money or making a profit in your business. So the middleman can also be described as the go-between. A go-between is the middleman. For example, if you run a shop, you need the supplier. You need the person who will give you the goods. So they are the middleman. They are in between you and the customer. So the middleman is the person who supplies your goods so you can sell them to your customer. So we often refer to the person involved in the middle as the middleman. And once again, here we are in the 21st century. And some people might say, Mr. Duncan, that is very sexist. That is very prejudiced. Well, this is a phrase that's been around for a long time, and I don't think it's going away, to be honest. I suppose these days you could say middle person, middle human, perhaps. So middleman, a person who is involved in the process of supplying or passing on something to another person who will then sell it to their customers. So the middleman, the go-between, the person who is in the middle, is literally the middleman. However, sometimes in business, you want to cut out the middleman. So sometimes you like to find your own supplies by yourself, or maybe you create your own products. So if you create your own products, the things you create are yours and you have made them, we can say that you cut out the middleman. So there is no one involved in the middle of your business because you cut out the middleman. Quite often, if you are working in retail, if you are working for yourself, sometimes you need to make sure that all of those expenses stay low. So now and again, if you cut out the middleman, it can save you a lot of money. And of course, you can make more profit. Hello also to Palmyra, who is here. Yes, lots of people are talking about the floods that are happening at the moment, especially in Venice. It would appear that Venice is normally underwater, but now it's really underwater. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I like your autumn lesson with my... Oh, I did your autumn lesson with my English teacher last year. It is a great lesson. Thank you, Beatrice. It is also one of my favourite lessons as well. It was fun to make, and also it was nice to edit. So as you know, I love looking out the window. I love looking at nature. In fact, right now, I am looking out the window at the moment. And there is the view right now. So there is a live view looking outside. You can see it's very misty. It really does look as if autumn has arrived. And looking the other way, look at that. You can really see that everywhere is very misty. There is lots of cloud overhead. It isn't bright. It isn't sunny. It isn't too cold. However, normally in autumn, things become very damp. So outside, the weather is damp. So it isn't good weather for drying your washing. So during the autumn, you will never see people hanging their washing on the line because it won't dry. Hello, Emin. I think besides perseverance, humans should also have discipline. Well, I think so, especially when it comes to having success. And that's something we are talking about today. So if you want to have success, I think sometimes you need two things. And Emin just mentioned them. Perseverance and also a little bit of discipline as well. So I always find when I read stories about people who have had success in their life, quite often they've had periods of failure. So quite often a person who is successful or becomes successful quite often has periods of failure as well. You might find people who become successful actors or singers may have spent years and years doing that same thing with no success whatsoever. So you might find that a famous actor, maybe they struggled for many years before someone noticed them. They took notice of that person, and then suddenly their career takes off. They become a success. So there are many lovely words connected to the word success. Of course, you can have success when things go your way, when you have a good period of time. Maybe in business you have success. You are successful. You have success. So to have success is to succeed. You succeed in the thing you are doing. You have lots of success. I suppose another word you could use, victory. So you might have a victory, you win a battle. Maybe you are trying your best to create your own business, or maybe your own website. Oh dear. I can't even say the word. If I tried to say website, I hate it because I've been trying to make my own website and it's not going very well. So victory is when you succeed, when you have success. Maybe there is something you are trying to do, something you are trying to do well, and eventually you get it right. You have your success. You have victory. So quite often I think that word is underused. I like the word victory. You are victorious. Fortune. Here's another one. Normally, if you have success, we quite often say that you have good fortune. So we often think of fortune as belonging to having money or connected to being wealthy. So you might have a lot of money. You might be so successful that you earn lots of money. You have good fortune. So fortune can also mean just to have things go your way. So you have success. You have fortune. Things go well for you. Here's a nice expression. If you have success, if something goes right, you can say, it all came together. So maybe you have a business plan. Maybe for many weeks you design your website. You put together your business plan, and then everything works perfectly. You have success. You can say, it all came together. I had success. Everything worked out the way I planned. So if it all came together, it means it worked and you have had success. Here's a good one. This describes a person who is good at their job. Maybe they are good at a certain profession, or maybe they are good at performing. Maybe they are a good singer or actor. We can say that they are top of the game. So when we talk about game here, we are just talking about the area or the business or the type of thing you are doing. So to be top of the game means that you are successful. You are having a lot of success in the thing that you are doing. You are top of the game. Or they can be top of their game. So maybe a footballer who is very successful and scores lots of goals during the season. We can say that they are top of their game. Although in that case, it is literally a game that they are playing. So you can be top of the game. It means you are doing very well in your chosen profession, the thing you have decided to do. You are now successful. You are top of the game. Oh, I like that one. Here's another one. I like this one as well. To go from strength to strength. If you go from strength to strength, it means things are still going well. You are still having success. So if your business is going from strength to strength, it means it is going very well. My business is going from strength to strength. Things are going really well at the moment. So if you go from strength to strength, it means you are having continued success. Your success is carrying on. So sometimes you might lose your success. You might slowly fail. However, the opposite is to go from strength to strength. Things are going well for me at the moment. You might say that things are going from strength to strength. I like it. I like it a lot. Rakesh, what is the best way to write in English and keep clearly? I make more mistakes. Well, writing is a very complicated skill. Now, one of the best ways to improve your writing, and this is something I've mentioned in the past, is to copy something from a book. So if you want to learn grammar rules as you go along in a practical way. So when we say practical, we mean you are actually doing the thing in question. You are doing it. So maybe you can find one of your favourite books, or maybe a book about a subject you are interested in, and then just sit down, get a piece of paper, not a computer. Don't do it on a computer. Do it by hand. It is a very good way of getting words and also grammar rules into your brain, because you are using your brain in a different way. Write. And as you write, your brain is registering those words and all of those grammar rules in a different way. So that's one of my big ideas, one of my tips. So I hope that helps you. Chris says, yesterday I became a successful blood donor when I attended a Red Cross and radio charity event. After I donated blood, I was interviewed by a well-known local radio station. Oh, very nice. So Chris Morales was giving blood. I must be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of having needles stuck in my arm, or anywhere else for that matter. So I don't really like needles. I've never donated blood. There isn't any reason for it before anyone starts thinking in their head, oh, I wonder why. Why? Oh, why doesn't he donate blood? Oh. There is no reason why I can't donate blood. I can donate blood. I am protesting too much there. So, but I'm not a fan. I don't want to see my blood coming out of my body, to be honest. I like my blood inside my body. I always think the best place for my blood is inside my body. Even if I get a paper cut, I hate it. I hate looking at the blood coming out of my body. It's horrible. So yes, I'm not a big fan of blood, seeing it, especially in real life. Maybe in a horror movie, it's not too bad because it's not real. But in real life, I'm not very good at looking at blood. Hello, Neo. Hello also to Lewis again. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you back with us, chatting away. By the way, tomorrow, can you guess what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm doing something tomorrow. I won't say what I'm doing. I will ask you to guess what I'm doing tomorrow. But I'm doing something tomorrow and also Tuesday. And it has nothing to do with my new website. Nothing to do with that. By the way, you can catch me Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time for those who are wondering, when can we see you? Those are the days and also the time as well. The time is always the same. Hello to Rakesh. Can you please tell me some advice? I want to speak English in a few days. Rakesh, that isn't going to happen, I'm afraid. You can't learn English in a few days, unfortunately. I always like to be honest, and sometimes maybe my answer will be a little blunt. But you can't learn English. You can't learn to speak English in a few days. Christina, I love the poetry of your videos. Thank you, Christina. Yes, I do sometimes sit down and I feel inspired by something. I think this is something that happens to all people who are creative. I would consider myself as being a creative person. And sometimes I have inspiration. Something just pops in my head. And I can't resist writing something down. So quite often I will write little pieces of poetry or maybe a little passage that has some deep meaning. So I do that sometimes, not always. But if I get the muse, if I get the feeling, I always act on it. Guadeloupe, Mr. Duncan, have you ever studied something about art? Like photography or something like that? Your videos are beautiful. I have never studied photography. I have never studied video editing. Never. So I didn't go to media school. I didn't go to film school. Everything I've done, I've taught myself. I've had to learn by myself. So once again, proving that you can do these things. So all of my videos, all of the lessons that you see have been filmed, created, edited. The music has been edited by me as well. So everything you see and hear in some way has been created or edited by me. But I have no background in the film industry or television industry. I have nothing to do with that. I've taught myself everything to do with design, even studio layout. So designing your own studio, using the lighting, using the backgrounds, using everything. I've taught myself. So no, I've never done that. I've never taken a proper course in media studies or anything like that. Hello, Irene. Saturino, what is your country? Where is Saturino? Asks Irene. Belarusia says, my favourite television character was Dr. Quinn. Oh yes, Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. That was her name. I can't remember the name of the actress who played her. I can't remember her name, but yes, I remember Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. I think it was around in, I want to say, the early 1990s. It was a long time ago. But yes, I suppose you could describe Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, as a heroine, a person who is heroic. A female who is heroic is a heroine. Mr. Duncan, you are a very sensitive and creative man. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Guadalupe. I go through phases. Like all people who create things, I go through phases, periods of time where I have a lot of creative energy. And then suddenly it all disappears. So I have to wait until it comes back. So anyone who writes or paints or creates anything quite often will have periods of creativity and then periods of no creativity. So I think it's something that affects everyone who is in the creative field. Thank you to Frederica. I think you are very creative. I like your lessons because they are always original. I try to be original. Even my live stream, I always try to make it different from everyone else. So everyone else has their way of doing their English lessons. Some people like what they do, and some people like what I do. Sometimes. Julie, thank you very much, Julie, for saying hello. So we have talked about success. I suppose now we should talk about failure. Oh dear. Failure. It is not a positive subject. However, sometimes failure can be a good thing. Some people believe that failure is the mother of success. So sometimes when you fail, it might push you to try harder, do better next time. So sometimes failure can be the mother of success. So when you fail, if you have failure or you have a failure, it means something doesn't work out the way you expected. Something does not happen the way you wanted it to. You have failure or you have a failure. Maybe if you are designing a new type of engine, maybe it doesn't work properly. It is a failure. So you go back, you try again, you make some changes, but maybe next time it will work. Maybe next time you will have success. So the word failure is something we will hear quite often if something doesn't happen. So maybe you are waiting for something to occur, but it doesn't happen. We might say that it is a failure. It failed. Here's a word that we're hearing quite a lot at the moment. Collapse. Here at the moment, here in the UK, many businesses are on the verge or near to collapse. There are one or two businesses. Some of the businesses that have been around for many years are on the verge. They are about to collapse. So this is something that's happening in the UK, and I'm sure in many places around the world as well. So collapse is another way of describing a thing that's failed, maybe a business. So a business might collapse if it's not successful. Maybe it builds too many debts, so it has a lot of debts that it has to pay back. We often call those overheads. So overheads are the things that you have to pay for, the things that cost you money in your business. And sometimes the overheads are more than your profits. And quite often the business will collapse. It will fail. Here's another one. Something that is a failure might be described as a letdown. Something is a letdown. So this in its sense here is a noun. You are describing something as a letdown, or maybe an adjective even. So if something is a letdown, or you feel let down by your failure. So this can be used in more than one way. So you can feel let down, or something can be a letdown. I'm sorry, I was going along the other night to the opening of that new store, but when I got inside, I wasn't very impressed. It was a letdown. It was disappointing. I think it will be a failure. Oh dear. Drop the ball, or dropped the ball, if you want to use the past tense. So dropped the ball, if you have dropped the ball, you have been careless. Maybe your failure was caused by not paying attention to your business. Maybe you are being lazy with your business plan. Maybe you weren't putting enough work or energy into the thing you were doing. You dropped the ball, and because of that, you had failure. Oh dear me. Hello Rakesh. Hello also Mohammed again. We always need phrasal verbs. I think so. Yes, I think phrasal verbs are very useful in English, but you have to choose the right time to use them. Talking of phrases and idioms, here is today's mystery idiom. There it is, today's mystery idiom. All you have to do is tell me what it is. It is a well-known phrase in English. I think maybe there have been maybe 2 correct answers to that. Oh, I see. Very nice. So I think maybe there are 2 correct answers to that at the moment. I will give you the answer a little bit later on. Sir, do you have any failure moments that broke your heart? Me? We don't have enough time to talk about the things that I failed at. I have had so many failures in my life. In fact, quite often when I look back at the things that I failed at, I realise that I did gain something from it. So even though something fails, even though sometimes I wasn't successful, sometimes you might find that there is some experience from that failure that you can take with you. So I don't think failure is always a bad thing, although if you have it too often, it can be a little bit disappointing, to say the least. But yes, you can have a lot of failure in your life, especially in your young years. When you are young, you are still starting out on the road of life. So you can have a lot of failure. A lot of things can not go the way you planned, or maybe they turn out to be a disappointment. I think so. I think Guadeloupe has been a little bit distracted by my live stream. I have to do some work in my house and I have been dropping the ball. Why? What have you been doing? I think you've been distracted by my live streams. I think so. Helena, success is a dangerous situation. You can fall very quickly when you don't have the ability to continue to work at it day after day. This is the thing that I've experienced in the past doing this, because it looks easy. I'm going to be honest with you. It does look easy. All I'm doing is standing here in front of a camera, talking into a microphone. However, it's probably one of the hardest things you could ever do. And you have to keep doing it, and you have to keep putting your energy into it. And sometimes it is very hard to do. So to be successful, sometimes you have to give a lot of your own energy or your own time. You have to devote a lot of your life to doing one thing. So I think so, yes. Success is the road to failure or from failure. So from failure, you can have success. So doing this for 13 years has not been easy. And over the past few years, I've had a lot of difficulties with YouTube personally, which I'm not going to go into. But yes, being on YouTube for 13 years sounds like a good thing. It sounds like I've had a lot of success, but not always. Sometimes it can be very difficult. Some days, some mornings when I wake up, I think, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So it isn't always easy. It isn't. Sometimes this can be the most difficult thing in the world to do. It really can. For those who want to get in touch, 1 or 2 people are interested in writing to me, here are my details. And also, if you want to send a donation, feel free. Oh, I've just realised. I'm sorry about that. There was no sound. I'm back, don't worry. If you have failure, you can say that it fell apart. I just had failure then because I forgot to activate my microphone. Failure. Unfortunately, my live stream fell apart because Mr. Duncan forgot to turn his microphone up. So I'm back now, don't worry. Sorry about that. Sometimes my finger slips on the controls. So if something fell apart, we can say that it was a failure. It did not work. And also, we can say if something fails, we can say that it did not take off. So quite often, especially in this day and age where new businesses, new products, new inventions come along all the time, sometimes it doesn't take off. Sometimes people don't want it. Sometimes people are not interested in buying that particular thing. Don't worry, I'm back now. I'm back, don't worry. A lot of people saying, Mr. Duncan, we can't hear you. I think you can hear me now. It did not take off. It was unsuccessful. It did not take off. It did not succeed. So maybe you launch a new product, or maybe a new magazine, or maybe a new toy, because Christmas is on the way, but maybe no one is interested in it. No one buys it. No one is interested in the thing that you are trying to sell. We can say that it did not take off. Yes, I tried to invent a pair of socks that you can also wear on your hands, but unfortunately, it didn't take off. No one wanted them. So that's it, really. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream, by the way. Not as many people this week as last week. I don't know why. The sound is back. Yes, I know. It's my fault. You can blame this finger. It is this finger that caused the problem. Sometimes fingers can get you into all sorts of difficulties. Quang! Yes, the sound is better. Thank you very much. So we have the mystery idiom. Here is the answer to today's mystery idiom. There it is. There is the question. Now, normally when I have my mystery idiom, I always ask, say what you see. Can you please say what you see? So if you have a look there, you can see it is a man. We are looking at the top of his head, and we can see there are some hairs coming out from his head. The answer to today's mystery idiom is splitting hairs. Splitting hairs. We can also say hair splitting. So this is actually an idiom, and the meaning is to find tiny faults or to make trivial points during an argument. To focus on tiny details can be described as splitting hairs. You make arguments that are so pointless. You are splitting hairs. You are going into fine detail about something, and you don't have to, because there is no need. You are splitting hairs. So there it is, a well-known expression in the English language, and there it is, today's mystery idiom. I hope you enjoyed that. Another one coming, I think we'll have another one on Wednesday, because I will be with you on Wednesday, don't forget. That is when I'm back with you. Congratulations to those who got it right. In your life, it can happen often that who you think is your soulmate will throw you away. Yes, you can have failure in your relationship. So maybe a relationship can also fail. It can fall apart. It cannot succeed. So sometimes when you meet someone for the first time, everything is so excited. You can't wait to get naked together. Everything is really exciting, but maybe after a long period of time, you might find out that that person isn't very nice. Maybe they are cheating. So we can say that your relationship was not successful. For whatever reason it may be, whatever reason it is. Yes, the phrase splitting hairs is negative. It is often used when we are criticizing someone for being too picky. If you are making a trivial point during an argument, or if you focus on tiny details and you are using those to make your point or to succeed in an argument, you are just splitting hairs. You are going into too much detail. You are being too fussy. You are splitting hairs. Ladislav, hello to you. Do you make your website on WordPress, Mr. Duncan? I'm not using WordPress. I am using a third-party website creator But the problem is I've never done this before, so it's something I'm learning. I always like to push myself. So this week and also last week, I've been learning about website design, how to get your domain name. So I've bought my domain name, and now I'm creating the website that the domain name is going to be connected to. If you split something, it means you cut it in half. You split something. So maybe you split a piece of wood, or maybe you split a bar of chocolate. So you can have half each. I have half and you have half. I split. Maybe if you are in a restaurant with your friend, you might split the bill. So you will pay half each towards the cost of the meal. My website's name, not at the moment. There is no website name at the moment because there is no website. It hasn't been finished. So I won't be giving the website because it doesn't exist at the moment. It isn't even live. It hasn't even been published yet. So we are a long way from that. But it is rather exciting. I am excited about it. And also it is giving me a chance to learn something new. So I'm learning all about building a website, connecting everything up, so then people on the internet can look at it, hopefully. Hello also to Guadeloupe. In the literal way, when people have lice, we have to split the hair. I'm not sure what you mean by that. When you say lice, do you mean things crawling around on your head? I remember as a child, when I was at primary school, I would always come home with bugs in my hair because kids would go to school, and because you're with lots of other people, the little bugs, the little lice would jump from one head to another. So yes, I think my mother got really sick and tired of having to keep cleaning my hair because we would go to school and then a few weeks later I would be scratching my head and my mum would ask, "Why are you scratching your head? You haven't got lice again." So that's what would happen. Hello, Eric. Mr. Duncan, you have to buy the domain before someone takes it. Yes, I have bought the domain. In fact, I've bought more than one domain because at the moment they're very cheap. I don't know why. Many years ago, it used to be very, very expensive to buy a domain name. In the early days of the internet, when everything was .com, domain names, some of them were worth thousands and thousands of pounds, some of them. But nowadays, you can buy lots of them for £10. Thank you very much for your company today. Rakesh, here about political. Political has been promises, and after the election, the politics, I think you mean politicians. So people who carry out their political duties is a politician. So quite often before an election, people will make lots of promises. It's actually happening here in the UK right now because we have a general election coming next month on the 12th of December. So next month we have a general election coming here in the UK. So at the moment, many of the leaders and the politicians are making amazing promises. One of them is free broadband for everyone. So everyone in the country will get free internet. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think so. It means you will have to dig lots of roads and lots of paths and lots of gardens so people can have the high-speed broadband. So I don't think that's going to happen because not only is it very expensive, but it's also very difficult to do, to be honest. Hello also to Hailey Kwang. Do you watch Extras in your country? Extras. Is that the show with Ricky Gervais? I think so. It must be. Very funny. Of course, Ricky Gervais is a British comedian, so he's actually British. So yes, I know him very well. Not personally. We don't go to the pub together. Nothing like that. Split can also mean divorce, or maybe your relationship breaks down. Yes, maybe your parents will split, so they will stop being together, like my parents. So my parents split up many years ago and they got divorced. So yes, if you split, it means your relationship comes to an end and then you live separately. You split. Your relationship comes to an end. Thank you very much for your company. I am going in a few moments, so if you want to say something, say it now. It's actually dark outside. Have a look outside now. It's actually gone dark. Look at that. Just to show that winter is just around the corner. Look at that, how dark it's gone. The night is coming already, and it's only 3:15 in the afternoon. So that's what happens sometimes, you see. Sometimes the days become very short, especially here in the UK. Thank you for your lesson. Thank you very much as well. And hopefully on Wednesday when I'm back, I won't cut it fine. I won't cut it fine. I hope on Wednesday I will have plenty of time to spare before my live stream begins. What am I doing tomorrow and Tuesday? Shall I tell you now? Okay, I'm going to tell you now. Over the next 2 days, I will be going up into my loft, into the attic, and I will be looking for my Christmas lights. Yes, it's that time of year again. Christmas is round the corner, and it's time for me to get my Christmas lights and put them up on the front of the house. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days. I will see you on Wednesday. So 2 days from now, you have to wait until Wednesday, of course. I'm with you on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. Thank you, Harley Kwang. Thank you, Irene. Thank you also to Eric. We hope your website will take off. Me too. I hope it actually happens because I'm still working on it. It's so difficult. I didn't realise. I thought nowadays it would be very easy to do, but no, you still have to put a lot of work into it. Hello, Christina. Wow, Christmas lights. I love it. Yes, every year. I always put my Christmas lights on the front of the house. I have lots of Christmas lights in the attic upstairs. So that's what I'm doing over the next couple of days. Thank you, Gabriel. Hello, Mr. Duncan. How are you? Are you before you have one book for students? How can I receive that one? I think you mean, do you mean have I got a book? I have never published a book myself, so no. Although sometimes I have mentioned other books as well. There is a good one called English for Everyone, which is a very good book, which you can buy through Amazon or on the internet. Hello, Belarusia, Guadeloupe. Thank you very much. Thanks for your company. Lots of people saying goodbye. Thanks a lot for your company. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for joining me today. I'm back on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Stay happy, stay good, and stay alive. Ta-ta for now.